The Trump administration has reimposed sanctions on Iran, putting the future of the US-Iran memorandum under fresh strain. Tehran says Washington's latest sanctions amount to a direct betrayal of the Islamabad memorandum. Iran has accused the United States of breaking the very commitments it had agreed to uphold. The renewed sanctions target Iran's oil sector, prompting a sharp response from Tehran. Iran warns that repeated American breaches of the agreement will not go unanswered. Iran has accused the United States of violating the Islamabad memorandum by reimposing sanctions on its oil sector. Tehran warned that it would take every measure necessary to safeguard its national interests and national security. Iran's foreign ministry strongly condemned the renewed sanctions in an official statement released on July 7. Statement by Iran's foreign ministry said, and I quote, "The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Islamic Republic of Iran strongly condemns the U.S. Treasury Department's decision to revoke the temporary suspension of sanctions on the sale of Iranian oil, which it considers a clear violation of Article 10 of the Memorandum of Understanding on the End of the War, dated the 18th of June, 2026, and holds the United States government responsible for the consequences of this breach of commitment." At a time when less than 20 days have passed since the signing of the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding, the announcement revoking the general license issued on the 21st of June is yet another indication of the ill intent, inconsistency, and unreliability of the U.S. administration. This comes despite the fact that, over the past 20 days, the United States, either directly or through the actions of the Israeli regime against Lebanon, has repeatedly committed both minor and major violations of various provisions of the Memorandum of Understanding. Since the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding on the 18th of June, the Islamic Republic of Iran has acted in complete good faith and has used all of its available capacities to fulfill its obligations under the agreement. Nevertheless, the U.S. government, in keeping with its long-standing practice, has sought to justify its own breaches of commitment with various pretexts while simultaneously violating its obligations. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Islamic Republic of Iran, while warning of the consequences of the United States' breach of its commitments, declares that it will take whatever measures it deems necessary to safeguard its national interests and national security. Unquote. The U.S. Treasury has revoked the temporary license issued on June 21 that had allowed limited sales of Iranian oil. Washington has given companies until July 17 to wind down all transactions involving Iranian crude. U.S. officials said no new purchases or loading of Iranian oil will be permitted after July 7. Washington also condemned Iran's attacks on commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz, calling them wholly unacceptable. The United States warned that any further attacks on international shipping would carry serious consequences. Despite the renewed sanctions, U.S. officials said negotiators are still working toward a final peace agreement with Iran. Analysts believe Tehran continues to use the Strait of Hormuz as a key source of leverage during negotiations with Washington. The U.S. has hit Iran after attacks on vessels in Hormuz triggered a dangerous new escalation. Strikes have rocked Bandar Abbas and Qeshm as Washington launches a retaliatory response, according to reports. The U.S. military is said to have targeted Iranian air defenses along with missile and drone sites. The Hormuz flashpoint is deepening as Washington strikes Iranian targets near the vital waterway. Explosions were heard across southern Iran after the U.S. military launched its strikes. Pezeshkian is heading back to Iran from Iraq as the U.S. strikes send shockwaves across the region. U.S. Central Command says the strikes were carried out in response to attacks on 3 commercial vessels. U.S. Central Command said, and I quote, U.S. Central Command forces have begun launching a series of powerful strikes against Iran to impose heavy costs for targeting and attacking commercial shipping crewed by innocent civilians in an international waterway. The U.S. strikes are in response to Iranian attacks on 3 commercial vessels that were transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's demonstrated aggression was unwarranted, dangerous, and a clear violation of the ceasefire. Unquote. A tanker was struck by an unidentified projectile while transiting the Strait of Hormuz, according to UKMTO, raising immediate alarm in the narrow and strategically vital waterway. UKMTO said on July 7 that the vessel suffered structural damage in the incident, but there were no casualties reported. No pollution or environmental impact has been reported following the incident. suggesting that the tanker's cargo and fuel tanks remained intact and that there has been no oil spill into the surrounding sea. UK MTO has launched an investigation to determine the cause of the strike, focusing on what kind of projectile was involved, where it may have originated, and whether it forms part of a broader pattern of hostile activity. Ships transiting the strait have been urged to exercise caution and report any suspicious activity, with maritime authorities calling on captains to maintain high situational awareness. This was the third such incident reported near the critical oil choke point on July 7th, underscoring a worrying cluster of events in a single day. A Saudi-flagged crude oil tanker was damaged near the Strait of Hormuz off the coast of Oman, Reuters reported. The incident on July 7th came just days after an earlier attack on a Qatari LNG tanker in the same strategic maritime corridor. Maritime security sources told Reuters that the exact cause of the explosion had not yet been determined. The damaged vessel was believed to be the Saudi-flagged supertanker Wedyang, according to the maritime security sources. Marine traffic tracking data showed the Wedyang was last recorded inside the Persian Gulf on July 3 before the incident. Iranian state television claimed the tanker was attacked because it was using Oman's side of the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, an Iranian lawmaker said any future arrangement for the Strait of Hormuz without Tehran's participation would fail. Alaeddin Boroujerdi said Iran had decided to change the framework governing the Strait of Hormuz after the recent war. Boroujerdi said Iran's parliament would move to approve legislation on managing the strategic waterway at the earliest opportunity. He added that all relevant Iranian state institutions would be required to implement the new measures governing the Strait of Hormuz. War fears are rising once again after Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps was accused of striking a commercial vessel linked to a key U.S. Arab ally. Reports claim the IRGC fired missiles at commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, threatening one of the world's busiest maritime routes. The Strait of Hormuz has erupted into fresh turmoil, with reports suggesting a Qatari LNG tanker was among the vessels caught in the attack. Two commercial ships were reportedly hit as the IRGC allegedly began carrying out revenge for the death of Ali Khamenei. A Qatari liquefied natural gas tanker was reportedly caught in the missile attack near the Strait of Hormuz, according to reports. The IRGC is now being accused of targeting global shipping even as diplomatic efforts between Washington and Tehran continue. Missiles have once again shaken the Strait of Hormuz, placing global shipping on high alert. The IRGC has warned merchant fleets that its missiles and drones remain ready for action. A tanker erupted in flames after reportedly being struck by a missile off the coast of Oman. The United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations confirmed that a tanker had been struck as security around the Strait of Hormuz rapidly deteriorates. The United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations said, and I quote, "UK MTO has received a report of an incident 8 nm east of Lima, Oman. A tanker has reported being hit by an unknown projectile on the port side, causing a fire whilst traveling southbound. No casualties or environmental impact reported. Authorities are investigating. Vessels are advised to transit with caution and report any suspicious activity." Unquote. The United States has accused Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps of attacking civilian shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Commercial ships were reportedly damaged as fears grow that the Iran conflict is once again spilling into a vital global sea lane. The IRGC has warned vessels to avoid routes protected by US-led security operations in the Strait of Hormuz. Despite the attack, authorities say no casualties have been reported, even as concern spreads across the shipping industry. Analysts warn the latest strike could threaten global oil and liquefied natural gas supply chains. After targeting military assets, the IRGC is now accused of taking aim at merchant vessels. The shipping crisis is deepening as missiles are reportedly fired into one of the world's most strategic maritime corridors.